Coco Village, a beautiful seaside town absolutely littered with tangerine groves, a man with a pinwheel hat, and very supportive and loving community. Wait a minute, that was the anime. The not-so-Arlong Pirates. Coco Village and Arlong Park. We have officially reached the precipice, the apex of the live-action series. But were you happy with it? With Sanji officially on board for the ride, we finally get to see the glorious relationship with him and Zoro truly blossom. We get to see a little bit of that bromance exist.
The only thing I want to hear from you at the dinner special.
You don't know very well either, bosshead.
Kokoyashi Village looks a little bit different. In the anime, we get this gorgeous little seaside town with western-style main road, kind of like a Wild Wild West vibe, a bright-colored little town hiding some very dark secrets. Now in the live action, we get a backwoods, dilapidated straw huts, dusky, dark lighting, and some very unhappy villagers. Basically, the exact opposite of the anime. Which now begs the question, why don't the villagers know about Nami's sacrifice? Drama. And by Oda himself, did it work? All these people, a whole village who love and supported Nami, who understand her sacrifice, try to take some of her pain and burden off of her, Oda threw it out the door. They just absolutely straight up hate her. But the glory of this is that they blatantly show Nami's pain, and it gives you this better connection of loneliness that she actually feels. If anything, you feel more bad. Her sister spat on the ground and stared into her soul. So instead of Nami telling Nojiko at Bellamir's grave that she's gonna make this sacrifice to get the town back, she basically has to do it to avoid a shovel in the face. Genzo looked good though, but where's his pinwheel? I'll tell you where. Flashbacks only. In the anime, Genzo used the pinwheel to cheer Nami up when she was a kid, and they decided to change it into Bellamir teaching them how to make these tangerine pinwheels with a stick, and it was like a family bonding thing, which is a beautiful touch, honestly, and it comes full circle, but just a little consistency would have been nice, because there's no reason to show him with the pinwheel in the past. But that's just me being picky. And since we're discussing aesthetics already, let's just take a look at Arlong Park. The Arlong Pirates, being this like gangster thug group, is absolutely hilarious. And Arlong Park shifting from a pagoda with a pool to this club carnival thing is just... I love it. It's so funny. They look like they enjoy it. And since we're talking about fishermen, the curse of the first mates is back. And before anyone calls me out, yes, Hachi was not a first mate. He was one of the officers, but he's not here. He's a major character in the arc, and he has roles later down the line, so it's interesting to see what they'll do with that. But arguably, he was probably way out of the CGI budget, and that change makes sense. And in the anime, this arc was a pretty big highlight for Zoro and Sanji. Their skills, their fighting, their purpose, their determination, but it was kind of unnecessary to show in the live action, and I don't think it was a bad choice. But before we get to the actual fighting, we gotta talk about the scene. The scene that everybody was waiting for this season. The scene I was most worried for, and one of 3 scenes that gave this whole series a thumbs up. The Nami scene. And I honestly refuse to throw any shade at this whatsoever. It was almost 100% one-for-one to the anime, and the only thing that was really different was location. And it hit me as strong as it was supposed to. And can we discuss how badass the rest of the crew was too?
Let's go.
They did it. On to the piece de resistance. We finally get to see Usopp be useful and show his skills. We get to see his creativity shine, and he's starting to build up confidence, which they really needed to do because he needed screen time, and they finally gave it to him.
They'll believe me.
He's creating smoke bombs. They use that to attack Arlong Park, and it's glorious. His fight with Chu was honestly pretty darn good. The running, showing him trick Chu with the ketchup and the alcohol. Let's not forget the alcohol. Could they have highlighted this as a growth moment for Usopp? Yes, and they kind of did. Cue the replacement for the Hachi fight. The dynamic duo takes on Kurobi. We get to see Fishman Karate in action, which I think they did a very good job with. They kept it simple. They didn't go too advanced with it. But more importantly, we get the Sanji Zoro banter.
I get it. Zeph was mean to you.
Would it have been absolutely amazing to see Sanji fighting Kurobi underwater? 100%. I have no idea how they would have made that work, but they did do it justice and they let Sanji have his moment. He called out his moves and finished the fight exactly how it should have been done. In the last video, which if you haven't seen, go check it out, we talked about how they nerfed the living heck out of the whole Straw Hat crew. We finally hit the point where everybody evolved, including Luffy, from not being able to break out of a wooden box in Buggy's tent to punching through stone. And as far as differences go when it comes to the Arlong fight, I feel really big mixed feelings on this. The fight could have been a lot longer. Basically what they did is they highlighted the major points of the fight. Breaking Arlong's saw, Arlong regrowing his teeth, and in the anime, this was actually a pretty fun fight. You get to see Luffy being very creative with his powers, and they finally did this in the live action a little bit. They're a little sneaky, but they throw in a couple of shouts to some of his moves in the live action with him getting a little more creative. They show him being a lot more athletic and doing some crazy things. They even finish the fight exactly the same way. I can hear you guys screaming, Nami was at the park too early. Correct. And it didn't take away anything. It added value. And now this is where the parallels kinda end and things get a little weird. Garp and friends show up again. And boy, does Grandpa want to fight. And we don't see this until, what, Marine Ford, I think? But regardless, it was a cool bonding moment. We get to see Garp in action a little bit, and that's basically it. There wasn't that much to be disappointed with in the last 2 episodes. I think they did a very good job converting this arc. I got really nervous halfway through where things started feeling like they were getting a little bit further away than they needed to from the show. But this came back, and a lot of this was very one-to-one, and it was really impressive, actually. So what does this mean for Season 2? Well, they set up a couple of things. They showed Mihawk delivering the beautiful news to Shanks and them having a great time. That doesn't really set anything up, but it's a great moment, and I wanted to share it. They show the blossoming of the Buggy and Elvita alliance. They show Kobe and Helmeppo standing up to Garp and him respecting that and deciding to train them. Which I think is very important because it set goals and it set their determination for all those characters going forward. And you thought I forgot this one, but they showed Smoker, and that is a pretty big deal. I can't help to think that this is maybe a version of One Piece that Oda kind of wanted to write originally, or is now giving him kind of excitement with ideas that he couldn't really use. And as we've seen with the questionable choices made with other live action series, this is a very difficult thing to actually adapt, and this set the standard, and this is the base. This is it. Only here. We're finally through the whole season. Let me know what you guys thought about the whole series below, and what your thoughts are for Season 2, and if they're going to be able to adapt things like Chopper, like Smoker correctly, how they're going to do Gum powers, all of those things, and what direction you think they're going to take, because I'm pretty hopeful for the future of this stuff. But we've got some new other live actions coming, and that's going to be a tough act to follow. We're coming really close to 1K, which I cannot believe, and I really appreciate you guys all for your support. Be healthy, stay healthy, keep uplifting each other, like, subscribe for all the way to goodness. See you guys in the next one.